Hi, my name is Matt. Welcome to Bearable 73. So the BBC has announced a new actor to play the Doctor. Is he the 14th Doctor, the 13th Doctor, or the new First Doctor 2.0? Let's start with going over the announcement. So why they do the announcement now? As I'll point out in a little bit, he was named in February, but they kept it under wraps. So because the BAFTAs are right now, they're kind of like the British Emmy Awards. They happened today when I was filming this on May 8th, and obviously the announcement. Russell T. Davies series about the AIDS epidemic of the 80s, but in Britain events of it. It's up for 6 awards, which brings a spotlight on his work. Ncuti, as I believe how he pronounces his name. I have a interview with him below. I linked where you can hear it. I'm going to say Ncuti. If I mess that up, I will fix that for future videos. I don't mean to be disrespectful. Ncuti Davis, the actor chosen for the new Doctor. He's been nominated for the BAFTAs Best Actor in a Comedy, an award he's won several years running for a show called Sex Education. As I mentioned, he was chosen back in February. Sex Education is a BBC dramedy. It's just an alert. Sex Education is an adult-oriented comedy or dramedy, whatever you want to call it. I have a link to a Best of Eric clip, which is the character he plays in Sex Education. Again, warning, it's an adult-oriented comedy. It's not vulgar or anything. It's just, they make some sexual jokes about, and it's also, he plays a gay character who is coming out and expressing himself properly and whatever. And nothing wrong with that. It's his life and the character's life, and nothing wrong with that. And I've seen shows like that are very entertaining. So I haven't seen this one. I'm not a big comedy fan, to be honest. I think the clip would have been better. Like, if you watch the first third of it, there's just basically the sex jokes, right? And I think there were a lot of dramatic moments from later in the clip, which I think if the person who did the clip show, if they had mixed the dramatic moments in earlier, you would have got a better sense of what the show is about. That's why I'm calling it a dramedy. So anyway, just from that clip and a couple other clips I grabbed of the show, he seems like he can act in this type of role, right? But again, I'm only judging based on what I've seen of the clips because I've never seen him in a full episode of anything. Right? Now, the actor in his comments, which I'll read in a minute, appears to be willing to follow RTD's writing, which is good. Right? Well, and I have an interview with him and RTD linked below where he mentioned that he's going to do what RTD says, basically. So let's go over to the first article here, and here I'll give Scooty's take here. There aren't quite the words to describe how I'm feeling. A mix of deeply honored, beyond excited, and of course, a little bit scared. This role and show means so much to so many people around the world, including myself, and each one of my incredibly talented predecessors has handled that unique responsibility and privilege with the utmost care. I will endeavor my utmost to do the same. Russell T. Davies is almost as iconic as the Doctor himself, and being able to work with him is a dream come true. His writing is dynamic, exciting, incredibly intelligent, and fizzing with danger. And Davies said, the future is here, and it's Ncuti. His sometimes talent walks through the door and is so bright and bold and brilliant, I just stand back in awe and thank my lucky stars. Ncuti Gatwa, seat hold the Doctor and own those TARDIS keys in seconds. An honor to work with him and a hoot. I can't wait to get started. Now, Russell T. Davies has always been honest with the Who fans. He hasn't BSS like Chibnall has or try to fool us like Stephen Moffat did. So when he says he walked in the door, I'm assuming. Now we know Sony and Moffat Sony and RTD have total control of this. The BBC can't do anything other than say and make announcements, okay, and choose when to air it. So I believe on his face he said there were multiple performances, and he wasn't just chosen to be representative of something, which I'm going to get on here, okay. So let's address the next point: wokeism, and I'll say this again. I think I mentioned in the previous video, the failures of Jodie Whittaker's era as a Doctor is not the wokeism. That's horrible. All the changes they made just for the sake of, deconstructing the male nature of the Doctor and whatever, okay? But that's secondary damage. The horror of if they had done all that, we'd hate it. But let's say she had 5 or 6 really great, well-written episodes. She has none, okay? Chibnall proved that Downton Abbey, which I watched, and that's why I was impressed because I liked Downton Abbey. I liked Jodie Whittaker in her role in there. It was a character-driven sort of community murder mystery type of thing, and I enjoyed it. And I was like, maybe he could bring that to Who. Still have the science fiction elements, but do some more character-driven stories like older Who had. And I was like, okay, this could be good. But then Chibnall basically proved that Downton Abbey is a fluke. Okay, so someone's going to make the argument that this is a woke hiring, but not because Ncuti is black, because again, with the retcon, he can't be the first black doctor anymore. Okay, they're going to make, since he is a homosexual person, they're going to say he's the first gay guy to play the doctor. Now, I don't care what the actor who plays the, I don't even think I know if any of them besides Sean Pertwee has been married. And I only know Sean Pertwee. No, I know David Tennant's married because he married the girl who played the doctor's daughter, which was the actual daughter of Peter Davison, the Fifth Doctor. Though, and I know Sean Pertwee was married and had a kid because his son John Pertwee was married because his son is Sean Pertwee. So, I could care less about the actors' personal lives. I understand that every day now, everyone who's an actress comes and says, "Oh, I'm a this, I'm a that, that I'm representing." None of us care about that. Okay. If Ncuti can do a good job acting in what RTD does, and RTD keeps the woke out of it, and I'll get to it later, then people love him as a doctor. That's what it'll come down to. Now, Ncuti is a citizen of Scotland. He's from I want to say Rwanda, but I don't remember offhand. But most of our criteria for the role of the actor who plays doctor is that he's British, meaning he's an actual British citizen from somewhere in Great Britain. That's all most of us care about. And personally, if the doctor was Australian or even Canadian, because they're in the UK technically, the actor, I could kind of be okay with it. I prefer for a British doctor, which means Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, England, or by stretch, I said Northern Ireland. Okay. There's a documentary about black people in Scotland that Ncuti was part of called Black and Scottish. I linked to BBC information about that below, which it's a documentary of the story of black people who've either been born in Scotland or maybe they're a mixed race up there, or they've emigrated there from elsewhere. Okay. Now, as I mentioned before, since Ncuti cannot, under the current canon destruction that Chibnall hath wrought, be called the first black doctor, well, the other aspect of woke is they're going to call him maybe the first homosexual actor who played the doctor. I suspect that the BBC at least will highlighting that far more than they will any franchise revitalization RTD is going to attempt to bring. But let's be honest, Britain's always been way more liberal in terms of lifestyle and social situations than the U.S., at least for the last 100 years. Doctor has always shown that. I want to go with this one more time. The issue with Dr. Jodie's run was that Chibnall, acting as agent of the BBC, engaged in wokeist deconstruction of Doctor Who, and that is what RT needs to repair if they want the audience for Who Doctor Who to come back. Okay, and I'll get to the next section. And the second thing is they have to improve the writing, but that's a guaranteed to come with RTD. The guy is a pro. Even if you don't interested or didn't like if you watch other things he did, you'll enjoy the quality of the writing. So, next point here. My title was A New Doctor Who, the 14th Doctor, the 13th Doctor, or the First Doctor 2.0. And that comes down to how RTD is going to deal with the situation, because there have been hints he's going to deal with it. Despite him saying he's going to let it stand, that can be entirely 100% true. RTD has quite often said some things that have been true, but proved not to be the final truth, meaning they remain true, but were supplement to a later truth when you reveal, let's see, a plot twist or whatever, okay? So, we know that the current situation is not going to stand, okay? RTD is a Doctor Who fan from before he had the show. He wrote in the EU at least one book that I'm aware of. He's read extensively in it, and he used EU references in his time on the show. So, this guy cares about Doctor Who as a concept, which and even Moffat, for some of the issues he had, still cared about it as a concept. I think his time as a showrunner, he's better as a writer than as a showrunner. But anyway, so RT needs to address what the damage that Chibnall has done with the retcons Chibnall made to the Doctor as the Timeless Child, the nature of the Time Wars. So if they don't retcon away Chibnall Who at all, if they just follow up on it, then Ncuti is the 14th Doctor, and they won't get the audience back. if they do retcon away, he's the 13th. They can make it so that she regenerates, but somehow just like she was a side regeneration, or they wibbly wobbly timey wimey it where she regenerates back into Capaldi, then Capaldi goes back to her, and there's a lot of ways that within the context of Doctor Who they could sideways retcon that away. It could be an alternate universe, which do exist in Doctor Who and were mentioned in the TV show, so it's not just an EU thing. Right? But the buzz that emerged, and this is just a rumor, after Sony basically has control of the franchise, Chibnall dropped some interesting comments a few weeks ago that some were interpreting to indicate that RTD is going to start all over from the beginning. That Jodie's going to regenerate into someone, could even be Ncuti, but that Ncuti is going to be... RTD is just going to say, this is a brand new Doctor Who. This is the new first Doctor. That's what some were interpreting Chibnall's comments as. The argument has some weight. It allows RTD to retcon Who, in a sense, without messing with the Chibnall run, which will keep the sort of woke fans happy, with a few of them are. Had they cast an older veteran actor, I think that would be more likely that they would just retcon away the whole thing. But I think since they're going with Ncuti, they're trying to get that sort of energy that Matt Smith and David Tennant had, which were the two, Eccleston had a little bit, but he only lasted one season, so you can't count it. So they're trying to get that sort of youthful energy that those two kind of brought to, especially Smith. Have a more energetic series of plots. Just so when you get into them, you're drawn back in. So I think that's why they're going with this direction. I think what RTD is going to do, and we're not going to know till next year because he's very close knit. I think he's going to do something with an alternate timeline that the Time Lords, that the Jodie Doctor, the Capaldi regeneration is a split into a fragment. Okay, that it existed and the adventures happened, but they were for an alternate timeline, an alternate universe of the Time Lords, not the main universe ones. I think that's what he's going to do. Now, one thing we can be sure of, though, is RTD, as I say, he gets the setting, he's written the EU, he loves the setting, and he's a way better TV and showrunner than Chibnall has proven he can ever possibly be. So I don't want to belabor this. My final preference would be for a complete retcon, literally to skip. Just have Jodie Whittaker evaporate, and then you flash to a scene of Capaldi regenerating and Ncuti appearing. That's what I would prefer to see, But they're not going to do that, okay? And I feel bad for Jodie Whittaker because she gets a lot of shit for something. She made some stupid comments, unlike the good comments that Ncuti made here. She made some very divisive comments, and maybe actors are finally going to get it. Even if you have these beliefs, don't attack the fans. Attempt to persuade them, And if they had some woke in in RT's Doctor Who, but still have great writing and didn't crap over the past of the franchise, I think we'd all live with that, okay? But that's not what happened to Chibnall, and to be honest, Jodie as a Doctor got trashed for it, okay? There's a small part of me that wishes RTD would have had Jodie for one season, so we could have actually done real writing with her and given her one season to show to see if she could, if it was all Chibnall or Chibnall plus her, but that's gone. So we have one more Dr. Jodie special to go, and then we can begin to count down 2023 and see if RTD can fix this crap show. Comment down below if you have any questions for me about this video or other stuff. Please share your thoughts. Share this video if you enjoyed it. Like if you like. Dislike if you dislike. Subscribe if you want to hear more from me. My name is Matt. This has been Unbearable 73. Have a nice day, and I am out of here.